Alright, so this is the Asus GTSM, a cube that many people have dismissed mainly because its out-of-the-box performance isn't the greatest. However, this one here has been my main ever since I got it because I just prefer its speed and fluidity over any other 404 on the market. So this video is intended for those who want to like this cube but don't know how to get rid of some of the problems it has, like these small catches and annoying slow inner layers. So the first step is a fairly important one, which is breaking in the puzzle. To do this, just do about 5200 solves until you can start to feel the cube getting a bit looser and faster. It will also dry up some of the remaining factory lube, which will ultimately make your job a little bit easier in the next couple of steps. Once you're ready to set it up, just disassemble the whole cube while keeping the original tensions. This is so that you don't have to do as much work later on. With all the pieces now on the side, you can start to tension the core. To start, just pick a side and adjust it so that there's a millimeter gap between the bottom of the screw head and the top of the plate. And by plate, I mean the center plate that's right here. Next, if you look closely, you can use that same distance to match it with the other 5 sides. Okay, so when you're done with that, grab a syringe of heavy lube. This right here is Traxxas 50K, but you can use pretty much any heavy lube that'll make this part last long. So all you have to do here is apply 2 to 3 drops on each of the 6 rings, and after that you just turn each side along the center plate, like this, just to spread it out a little bit. Alright, so by now each of the rings should be more or less stuck to their center plates. And if they aren't, then you should apply more lube, because if they're all loose, then it'll make assembling more difficult. So just put that syringe aside and grab your lighter lube, so just like SCS or cubicle weight theory. And we're not going to put the cube together while lubing the pieces. Now we're going to walk through one of the easier ways of assembling 4x4. So I just did this first part off camera because it's kind of difficult, but I basically just made a V shape with internals like this, and I apply lube on either side of each of the pieces to make them stick to each other better. And next we're going to just fill in this 2x2x2 section. Now when building your 2x2x2, it's pretty self-explanatory. You just want to make sure to occasionally drop a little bit of lube on the contact points. So like I would start off by putting some on the insides of the shell you created, and then for example the corner and then 2 edges, like this. You can just put some on the outside here, but just don't put too much and you should be fine. Yeah, you can just grab a random corner and then you can just keep building like this. Now that we've got that out of the way, continue building alongside this layer while making sure that at least the corners are solved. Lastly, don't stress yourself out too much with the amount of lube you put. Just apply some in random areas when you feel like it, and as long as you don't put too much in, you should be fine. Now with half the cube assembled, before putting the rest of the pieces back in, just lightly coat this entire middle layer with lube. Just put some in the middle there and on the outside. Just like that. Oh, and one more thing to note is to not put as much lube from this point onwards. The final step is a couple of finishing touches. So first off is you may notice that your cube is a little loose. In that case, just tighten each face one after the other by a tiny bit, and by doing so your tension should remain even. And the second thing is optional, but if you have any water lube such as Maru laying around, it doesn't hurt to just put some in the inner layers just to give a little speed boost. And yeah, that should be it.